I partied with Mary Poppins and woke up with supercalifragilistic extra heavy halitosis. It's Saturday, I'm Akorn, and today we're back with episode 133 because apparently there are still memories left in the Gen X attic that haven't gotten lost yet. Hit that like and subscribe, and let's get into today's show, starting with the AkornTV weekly puzzle. The clue today is commercial slogan, and the letters RSTLNE are showing on the board. So drop your guesses in the comments and stay tuned because I'll reveal the answer later on in the show. When you're trying to explain how much better the original 80s horror movie was to someone born after 2000. I know it's tragic when the Wi-Fi isn't working, but let me tell you a story of catastrophic proportions from my childhood. Yes, it was. This was even worse than cassette tapes. You don't know your middle name? Don't your parents ever get mad at you? Only our generation will understand this, guys. If you ate a Big Mac out of this, you might be old. Yeah, back in a time when McDonald's was slightly healthier than it is today, and at the very least, it had a better flavor. Tomorrow lives in your living room. The Saturn 360-degree sofa by Rosenthal. A new dimension in setting comfort. All-around design, built-in convenience, out-of-this-world styling. It's not just furniture, it's a way of life. Only $998. That would actually be a pretty good buy, especially if it came with the TV and the stereo system. Of course, if you accounted for inflation, it'd probably be about $10,000 today, maybe more. Remembering Alex Kenter, taken from us on this day, June 29th, 1975. I'm this old. That is true, but whoever butchered these paper bags sure didn't make very good book covers out of them. We might have drawn all over ours and maybe even some tears patched with tape, but I don't think mine looked this bad at the end of the year. Dad horror flicks. Kids touching thermostats. Yeah, that would be a horror movie. A lot more so today, though, with the prices of electricity and everything else. We didn't have influencers growing up. We had uncles who gave bad advice for free. Yes, we did. If you don't embrace AI, you'll be left behind. Me being left behind. I know I use AI images for my intro and outro in the videos, but I wish we could just erase AI completely, because soon we'll look back and say, that was the beginning of the end. I'm launching a website called Older Fans, where I post today's injury and the wildly normal thing that caused it. I came across this on Facebook, and I have to include these comments. I threw my back out this morning waving at two military helicopters flying over my house really low. I'm 50 and don't regret it. I got out of bed a few years ago and herniated 2 discs in my neck. Absolutely true story, I wish wasn't true. It is pretty ridiculous when you just do some normal everyday activity and somehow you manage to get injured. You'll be going to physical therapy, and some young guy next to you, whose parachute malfunctioned or something, will ask, "So what did you do to join the class?" "Well, I was putting my socks on." Overheard a lady saying she won't let her kid watch Peppa Pig because it encourages bad behavior like jumping in puddles. I watched Roadrunner as a kid and haven't blown anyone up with dynamite yet. Yeah, it's pretty sad what they've done to the younger generations. The first bottle of Coca-Cola from 1894 contained around 3.5 grams of cocaine. Explains why our parents and grandparents could walk to and from school uphill both ways in the snow barefoot. Well, I know I have a lot of boomers here on the channel, so is this true, guys? It would explain a lot of things. How many of you guys knew that Sam Elliott was the voice of Smokey the Bear?
Do people know you were Smokey the Bear?
Well, apparently you do.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
You know what was interesting is I've been doing that voice for a long time, not the commercials that they're doing now. Now he's very talkative. He's like everybody today. He's got something to say. But I was born on the same day and year that campaign began.
Wow, on the exact same day?
On the exact same day.
When was that?
August 9th, 1944.
Wow, unbelievable.
Yeah.
You only have 1 quarter. Which game are you playing? I would probably play Space Invaders, simply because I could probably get more game time playing Space Invaders than any of the other games that's listed here, although Pac-Man would be very close. Jurassic Park sequel idea. 3 million AD. Humans are extinct. The dino scientists find mosquitoes with human blood. Guess who they clone? Jeff Goldblum. They mix up the mosquito DNA with Goldblum's, and surprise, this is now the sequel to The Fly. That actually sounds like a better sequel than most of the ones that they make today. Doctor, are you getting enough rest? Me. Yeah, that's kind of what it feels like sometimes when my insomnia's kicking my butt, especially when it's night after night. Photographic evidence of why my generation is tougher than yours. Well, it's often not the kids' fault. I mean, they literally have banned everything that's seen here, and a whole lot more. Kids today don't really even have a childhood anymore. Going retro. Commodore strips the smartphone back to essentials. The dumb phone revival has been gathering momentum in recent years, and the newly revived Commodore brand wants in. The computing icon, best known for the machines that define a generation of 1980s bedroom keyboard warriors, has unveiled the Callback 8020, a retro flip phone built around a simple idea. Keep the parts of a smartphone you actually need and strip out the ones designed to keep you hooked. Well, Commodore knows exactly who their sales base is. Although, when exactly did they get into making phones? I guess this is probably the first one. What do you guys think? Would you be into buying a phone like this, or are you just going to stick with your regular smartphone? It was a Raspberry bidet, the kind you find in a secondhand store. What kind of car would this guy drive? First thing that popped to my mind is a Ford Pinto. What kind of car would you guys say? Back in my day, kids didn't talk back to their parents because they had a mom with a wooden spoon and a dad that wore a belt. Yeah, absolutely true. We learned that there was consequences for our actions, something that most of today's generation has never experienced, at least until they end up in prison or something. Scientists now believe the depletion of the ozone layer was caused by 3/4 of the people from your high school yearbook. Yeah, but I bet those who had stock in Aquanet made a pretty penny. Do you ever feel like your body's check engine light is on, but you're still driving like, nah, I'll be fine? Yeah, I'd say this is true for most of us, but I'd also say it caught up to most of us too. Alright guys, here's another so-called Mandela effect. Do you guys remember if Curious George had a tail? Because I certainly do. He doesn't even look right without one. But supposedly now, they claim that he never had a tail. What do you guys remember? The clue for today's puzzle was commercial slogan. Let's see how many of you got it right. The answer is, you deserve a break today. Little known history, this legendary 1970s McDonald's jingle was famously sung by a young Barry Manilow. If you like these puzzles, come to the next AkornTV live stream hangout July 11th at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, where I host these games live and everyone joins the game in the chat room. I usually have a number of these puzzles, plus I also have the AkornTV Top Answers game as well, which is similar to Family Feud. So come on down and join the AkornTV live stream hangout. That link can be found down below in the video description.
So much life to be lived, so much to be tried, and when you share it you get a special feeling inside. You deserve a break today, so get up and get away to McDonald's.
Desperate times calls for desperate measures. Yeah, with inflation and everything else going on, sometimes you just gotta do what you can just to get by. Back when we needed luggage to carry our music. At least we owned our music back then. Mel Brooks turns 100 years old. He was the most vulgar character of all time. They beeped out every single word he said. Well, they're not wrong. So what are you guys interested in? Oh, fishing, hunting, shooting guns, bows and arrows, hot rods, you know, guy stuff. If you ask this question today, what do you guys think most kids' responses would be? If you ever wonder why Gen X is like this, remember our teachers hyped up a shuttle launch, it exploded live on TV, then they rolled the TV away and went back to class. No counseling, no hugs, no explanation. At least nothing further than, well, that didn't go according to plan. Remember that level in Super Mario 3 where the sun is trying to kill you? That's today. Yes, I think it is. And not just the heat, but the humidity has been almost unbearable trying to do any work outside, especially this last week. It's just been really hot and really humid, and they're only giving it to get worse too. If your parents didn't use the word gallivanting, did you really run the streets though? Yeah, I remember my dad saying things like, "You're just out there gallivanting around." Before the internet, people thought villages had only one idiot. Wow, were we wrong. I can smell this photo. Yes, we can. I don't know if I had this same model, but it looked very similar. Age test. Do you know what this is? Yeah, it's a clothespin basket, but I never remember us having one that we bought. My mom always just made them. Even the one that I use now is just made from an old t-shirt and a clothes hanger. How do people who lived through the 80s and 90s stomach today? I can't fathom it. Surely you must be depressed. I am depressed. And don't call me Shirley. You know, it's pretty bad when even the younger generation, who wasn't even born at that time, has seen enough to understand just how bad things have fallen. It's 1977, and you're watching Star Wars at the theater when you find out the main villain is named after the alien that visited you in your room in 1955. I wonder what he thought when he saw the planet Vulcan in Star Trek.
If you do not ask Lorraine to that dance, I'm gonna regret it for the rest of my life.
But I can't go to the dance. I'll miss my favorite television program, Science Fiction Theater.
Yeah, but George, Lorraine wants to go with you. Give her a break.
Look, I'm just not ready to ask Lorraine out to the dance. And not you, nor anybody else on this planet is gonna make me change my mind.
Science Fiction Theater.
Who are you?
Silence, Earthling! My name is Darth Vader. I am an extraterrestrial from the planet Vulcan.
Did anyone else spend their childhood exploring the woods, creeks, and trails for hours without a single adult around? Those were the best days. Yeah, those were some good times. You just had to watch out for snakes. When I was a kid, this was our virtual reality. Yes, it was. And I've actually made that statement on past shows. What's your lost 80s horror movie? Create your own 80s horror movie title. 1. The first letter of your name. Okay, well, I guess it's The Return of. Well, that's just great. Very first thing I start off with is just another sequel. Let's see, step 2 is birth month. So I guess that'd be Crimson Lake. And number 3 is your favorite horror subgenre. I guess I'd probably go with Gothic. So that'd be Castle, which would make the full title The Return of the Crimson Lake Castle. What would your guys' movie title be? Drop it down in the comments. I'm exactly where I want to be in life. At home, avoiding people. When I was a kid, your shin will never forget the pain I inflicted. As an adult, hold my beer. Yeah, I admit, it definitely does hurt. But I don't know, which one is worse? What do you guys think? The metal bicycle pedals or your trailer hitch? If your bike broke, you didn't throw it away. You flipped it upside down in the driveway and learned how to fix it. Yeah, that is true. Sadly today, most kids don't have any mechanical skills at all. Heck, most adults can't even put on a spare tire if they get a flat. This is how I grew up. Wooden baseball bats, magnifying glass to burn ants, grocery bags as book covers, steel-wheeled roller skates, banana seat bicycles, 29-cent McDonald's burgers, 19-cent McDonald's fries, street light get home signal. Kmart was our mall. Walter Cronkite was our news. Who remembers waiting to call long distance until after 7 p.m. because it was cheaper? Yeah, also at a time when you only had one phone line in your house. With age comes skills. It's called multitasking. I can laugh, cough, sneeze, and pee all at the same time. Yeah, that's a skill I don't think we need. My pretty predator. So pretty, so much fun. Collect all her friends, Xeno, Alien, and Hunter. It's honestly a wonder that something like this wasn't made back in the day. From a young age, I was prepared for the world to be dangerous and evil, but I was never prepared for it to also be retarded. How to mow the lawn. 1. Have a child. 2. Make that child mow the lawn. Yeah, that's something I certainly get tired of doing now. My daughter made this at school, and it lives in my house now. That thing wouldn't be living in my house. You know, we may have just made ashtrays, but at least they were functional. We may be old, but at least we got to see the world before it went to crap. Yeah, sad to say, but completely true. If you like today's show, you'll love the one that'll pop up here. I've added a number of new designs to the AkornTV merch store in recent weeks. That and all other links can be found down below in the video description. If you enjoyed today's show, please help support the channel by hitting that like and subscribe, and check your YouTube subscriptions page for all the new shows. I'll be back tomorrow on my other channel, AkornTV, for the latest episode of Laugh While the World Burns, which airs every Sunday at 1 p.m. You guys take care and stay safe this weekend, and make sure that come Monday, you still have all your fingers and toes. We can't afford any other health problems, so you guys be careful. This is Akorn, over and out.